Need for Speed is just dropping information at us, like left, right, and center. And I can't actually explain how much information is literally just dropped. Information about the garages, information about Vanity Items, information about dealerships, all types of things. And I'm going to summarize it in this video. So as well as this, a trailer also dropped. The link to that will be in the description if I've already uploaded the video. If it hasn't, it'll be there anyway. So you can go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But first, we're going to go ahead and dissect this Customization 101 article thing, which they have dropped. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So honestly, there's so much to talk about, I don't know where to start. I think to start off with, we'll go ahead and talk about the dealerships. So in Need for Speed Payback, we have dealerships. This is the first time we've had dealerships in the Need for Speed game for a very long time. They're very similar to the Need for Speed Carbon way of selling cars. So in Carbon, you had a muscle dealership, you had a tuner dealership, and a exotics dealership. In this one, it's a bit different. So there's 5 categories of cars: classic, muscle, rally, sports, and sports compact. I'm assuming each one of these will have its own dealership. So if you want an exotic car, it says in the article, you will have to go to FBX Exotics to go ahead and purchase that car. I assume it's going to be the same for everyone else. So if you want to get a classic car, you've got to go to like Classic Motors or something across those lines. Same for muscle car, etc, etc, which is really cool that they've actually like separated them into their own separate things. I do hope that there's like a level cap on some of the cars, because again, that was something which was missing from the last game, and it's something which I would like to see in this game, but it's not really a deal breaker, it's just a personal preference thing. The article then goes on to say not all cars are available at all dealerships, so make sure to go ahead and check and to see what's on sale, which kind of just reinforces my point that, you know, certain cars are going to be specific to certain dealerships. I also like the fact there's actually 5 categories of cars, so it kind of makes everything a bit more easy to see. You've got, you know, the classics, which are going to be like stuff like the 240Z, and then you've got your muscle cars, which are going to be your Mustangs and stuff, and then you've got your rally cars, which is going to be interesting to see what rally is going to be in. Is like a Ford Raptor going to be in there, or is it going to be an actual like rally car, like a Quattro or something? I don't know, I'm just spitballing ideas, but it's going to be interesting to see what's in each specific class. As well as that, part shops also make a return in Need for Speed Payback, which again, we haven't seen in a Need for Speed game in so long. So you can actually win parts in game, that's what the article says. It says you can win parts in game just by having a bit of luck, but as well as that, you can also buy parts from the parts shops. Now in the parts shops, the stock keeps on refreshing, so it's not always going to be the same stock in the actual warehouse at one point. So if you want to go ahead and go to the part shop, the stock they have in today will be different to tomorrow, so you've got to make sure you keep checking back to get what you want. With a bit of luck, you'll basically get the parts you want, and don't worry, we're going to talk about performance customization in a minute, because they've completely rehauled the system. As well as that, you'll also be able to browse through visual customization on offer, so fenders, body kits, spoilers, tail lights, all that kind of stuff. And one thing which is even cooler than that is the fact that you can actually add all these performance parts while you're in game, similar to how the Crew does it. So if you want to tune and change parts on the go, you can do that, which I find to be a really cool thing. And then to round off this kind of like little section of like dealerships, garages and stuff, essentially you now pretty much, I think, have unlimited garage spaces. So how it's going to work in the next game is garages are going to work the way they normally do. You know, you can configure your cars, you can change your cars, you can paint your cars and stuff, but as well as that, you can also actually construct your derelicts, which again, we'll talk about in a minute. But if you do find that your garage is full, you can now purchase multiple garages. Yes, you heard me right, you can purchase them. Now, I love the fact that they've made this a purchase thing. They've not just given you them, that, you know, you got to buy them, which I think, like, this is something that I actually asked for in my wishlist videos. So that's really cool in itself. You've actually got to purchase them and give up your own money to get more slots, which is a completely good thing. That's in-game money, by the way. And in the article, they say themselves, with this feature, you now pretty much have unlimited number of cars that you can have in your garage, which answers a lot of people's complaints. Answers my complaints, to be honest, because I like the fact of having 5 cars, but the fact you actually have to buy the parts now adds a whole new meaning to what the garage means in Need for Speed. And then as well as that, gas stations also make a return from Rivals and 2015. In Rivals, if you went through one, it would repair your car and repair your NOS, I believe, and it's the same in this one and the same in 2015. If you go through it, basically the visual customization and stuff on the car, the visual damage on the car goes away, and as well as that, you also get a refill of NOS, which is pretty cool. Right, that's one section out of 4. And we're already 6 minutes into this video. This is going to be a long one. Right, so let's go ahead and talk about derelicts. So derelicts are kind of the barn find of Need for Speed Payback. So essentially you'll find different parts around the map. These parts will be hinted at you through the game. So first off, you'll find the chassis, then the wheels, then the drivetrain, then 2 unique parts. Once you've done that, you'll then be given the option to make it into a stock car. So once you've done that, you can actually purchase it from the store multiple times. So don't worry about, you know, is this the only version of the car I'm going to have? Like in Forza, if you get one of like the Midnight Battle cars, for example, the RX-7, you can't purchase it again. But in this, it will go into the store. So if you want to go ahead and buy, say, the 240Z, which is one of the Derelict cars, you can do that. Now, it's not quite as easy as just pressing super build. You will have to get your car to tier 3 before you can kind of make that jump upwards, which is really cool. Essentially, that's part of the performance stuff, which we'll talk about later. You kind of need to max out your car before you can make it a super build, and then once you've done that, you then have the option to do, you know, the super build thing. Once you've made the car into a super build, there's no reverting back. If you want to do something else to the car, so say you make it a drift car and then you want to make it a drag car, the only way to do that is to purchase another car in the store. There's a drift one, there's a drag one, there's an off-road one, there's a grip one, and I think that's it. And to round up this kind of like section of the video, there's 5 derelicts you can do. So it's a 55 Chevy Bel Air, a 65 Ford Mustang, the Fairlady Z that you've seen in a lot of the screenshots, a C10 pickup, and a Volkswagen Beetle. Second section done. Let's go on to the third one. Performance. Honestly, I think a lot of the video is going to be taken up by this because it might take a bit of explaining. So the performance upgrades in Need for Speed Payback have been completely remodeled, and the parts have been split up into 6 categories. Those categories are block, head, turbo, exhaust, ECU, and transmission. So the level of your parts is one of the most important factors when it comes to upgrading your performance. The higher the level, the more performance you're going to get. So very similar to the Crew. Obviously the Crew has, I think it's 1399 is the max level you can get on your car. It's kind of similar in Need for Speed Payback. The level of your parts helps to determine the tier of your car. If you've got a car with a set of level 1 parts applied to it, it will be in tier 1. Equip another car with level 18 parts, which is the maximum level, you will have a tier 3.99 car. Each performance upgrade will also have perks. So say you pick a turbo, it may have like a top speed perk or an acceleration perk, a nitrous perk, or an air and braking perk. There are also parts which have multiple perks. So again, it's one of those things where you've kind of got to get lucky to find the right part and spend a lot of time in game. But the performance customization is completely different to the last game. There's so much more you can do with it, and I like how they've gone for a more of a numerical kind of performance upgrade system. It sounds complicated on the surface, but I'm sure when you get into it, it's going to make a lot more sense. And as well as that, different brands of different models of like turbos, for example, have different strengths. So say you get a HKS turbo, that's going to have a different trade set to say a G-Ready turbo. So, you know, one turbo is going to be better for maybe for top speed than the other one is, and you've got to pick the right turbo. So different brands of turbo will have different, you know, positives and negatives, I guess you could say. So basically how it's going to work is to do performance in this game, you're going to really have to learn it from the ground up. It's not going to be like the last game where you just fully max out your car and that's it. There's going to be so much more to it, and obviously we're going to have like specific brand parts in this game, so that's pretty cool as well. And that pretty much rounds it up for the performance. Now finally, we're going to go ahead and talk about vanity items. So vanity items are essentially stuff in the customization which we haven't already seen yet. So I'm going to quickly go over that now. Right, so Underglow, as we saw yesterday, is a vanity item. As well as that, nitrous flames, tire smoke, and I believe license plates are also vanity items. License plate wasn't in the actual article, but essentially how I've seen it from all of the pre-order stuff, I assume that will be in there as well. And that pretty much rounds it up for this customization video. That was a hefty video. That was like 15 minutes I've been recording for. So there was a lot of information there, but hopefully you guys understood everything. If you have any like comments or queries or questions about what I've said, again, all the sources will be down in the description, but you can also leave a comment, and hopefully I can make it a bit clearer in there. But that's been it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome stay safe, and peace.